just want to thank you and your municipal staff for the great welcome today. Worship, members of council, it's great to see you. Always great to be in beautiful North Grenville. As everybody knows, this municipality is one of the fastest growing municipalities in Eastern Ontario. I'm glad to be here. I just wrapped up a session at Queen's Park. Very big session. We passed 10 bills in a very short period of time. One of the bills that's going to be traveling this summer is a municipal bill on the code of conduct. There's going to be a hearing up in Ottawa. And I'm really happy that on my first weekday back in the riding, since the House adjourned on Thursday, that I've got some great news. And as Karen said, as an MPP representing both rural and small communities, I know that reliable, safe transportation is a really key element to a vibrant community. So whether it's to go to work or school or medical appointments, to see family or friends, having a transportation link in a small community is vitally important. So today I'm here on behalf of my colleague and friend, the Honourable Prabmeet Satkaria, who's Ontario's Minister of Transportation, to announce that North Grenville will receive $719,000 through the Ontario Transit Investment Fund. So that's a feat. So this funding is going to support a new fixed route service between North Grenville and Ottawa, while also expanding the on-demand service right here in North Grenville. So from my first days at Queen's Park, I've been a strong advocate in terms of enhancing public transportation throughout Leeds and Grenville. And we all know that sometimes when people talk about transit, they only talk about big cities. Sometimes big cities can dominate the conversation when Minister Sarkaria goes to, for example, a conference like AIM, where it seems to be a big push on. But we know, because of where we live, that the small and rural communities need those transportation links. In fact, sometimes I can argue they're even more important for those that live in rural areas. So I'm thrilled that the government is addressing that issue, something that has long-standing been a conversation in North Grenville, a long-standing conversation. Mayor Peckford and Hillary are going to provide some specific details on this wonderful new service shortly. But I do want to take the opportunity to commend the Municipality of North Grenville for making such a strong case for this service. It's going to be a tremendous benefit by connecting North Grenville residents to the city, but also expanding this very, very popular on-demand service. I'm not even sure that we realized just how popular the service was going to be. It also gives, and we were thinking about this, Michael and I, on the way up, it also gives residents of Ottawa another way to come here and explore North Grenville and all that it has to offer. As I said, North Grenville Transit is already providing outstanding service within the municipality. It's evident because of the fact that NG Transit recently received the Transportation Association of Canada's Small Municipalities Achievement Award for 2025. So that's all for good news. So I look forward to the service being expanded. I look forward to making an even stronger case with the $719,000. But I just want to thank you for inviting me here today. I'd like to call Mayor Peckford up to say a few words. Congrats.
Well, it certainly is an exciting day, and I want to thank MPP Clark for being here to really speak to the Government of Ontario's investment in North Grenville's on-demand transit system. I have council colleagues here today, including our Deputy Mayor, John Barkley, Councillor Wilson, Councillor O'Sullivan, and of course, Councillor Starkman was unable to join us, but has been an enthusiastic transit champion, as we all have been. And as council colleagues will recall, it was in the middle of the pandemic, prior to the last municipal election, that we asked staff to undertake a transit study. In a community with no licensed taxi services and no ride shares, we recognize the urgency of giving residents of all ages and stages of life options to get where they needed to go in North Grenville. So when the options came back to us from Ms. Janot and her team, and we, of course, consulted some external experts on how do you grow a transit system from scratch in a very large rural urban community, we knew we had to take a chance. Council had to take a chance on launching, and what we chose to do was launch a municipal-wide on-demand service intended to respond to residents no matter where they lived in North Grenville. And we did that because we have a heavy rural residential population as well as an urbanized population here in North Grenville. And we felt very strongly that we had to serve both. What it meant was we had a very busy bus and just one bus with a backup when things needed to be fixed on the primary bus. But when we launched that service in January of 2024, on a very cold day, we were very optimistic that the community would embrace this service. And so they did. And really the momentum has grown from there. And council colleagues will recall the early tracking that Jeannot did for us, weekly trackings, because we were so interested in knowing how the service was going, where people might be encountering challenges, how to better utilize an app, which enabled a lot of people to participate technologically in getting around North Grenville. And we really knocked it out of the park. And really what we've needed for the last, I would say, year and a half is growth in that North Grenville transit system. So we had an eye certainly on some provincial funding, and we're just thrilled with the investment that the government of Ontario is now taking alongside us. I will say that the gas tax funding was one of the early reasons that we knew that if we launched this, benefiting even from some of that annual funding, which is based, of course, on ridership and community population, helped to offset some of those early costs. But really, to grow the service, we really did need the partnership of the government of Ontario, and we got it. What this means is whether you're a student seeking higher education elsewhere, Algonquin College, or maybe university in Ottawa, a senior requiring urgent access to a time-sensitive medical appointment, or a commuter inevitably going into the city of Ottawa for work, transit can be a lifeline. It's economic development, of course, it's community building, and it's responding to the needs of the most vulnerable residents in North Grenville. So the $719,000 really is a game changer. It will bring more predictability for riders within North Grenville. The busier our bus gets, the more difficult it can be to secure a ride on the same day. So this really will double our capacity in the community of North Grenville. And in addition, it will provide that crucial link to Ottawa's LRT, Limebank Road or Limebank Station, more specifically, which is really neat to say. I want to now give the floor to Ms. Hilary Jeannot, Director of Client Services. She stick-handled this service from its earliest days. She oversaw the transit study. She's worked very diligently alongside, obviously, our partners at Blaze and MTS to really make sure that this service has responded, continues to respond to the needs of our community. And I think we've got a really bright future for this transit service.